Done at Southern Nevada. We've made it through the hot summer months once again, and cooler temperatures have arrived, and now is a terrific opportunity to conserve. I'm John Castanino. This is Vegas Valley H2O. It's a show all about water in our desert community. In this episode, new technology has arrived for Las Vegas Valley Water District customers to catch unusual water use at your property before it turns into big damage to your home or a big bill. We'll explain. Winter is the perfect time to prepare your landscape for the next round of triple-digit temperatures. An expert shows us why more trees, not grass, is the key to reducing the urban heat island effect. And with the arrival of winter comes mandatory winter watering restrictions. Watering more than once a week during the cool season reduces our water supply and could significantly hurt your landscape. To kick things off, we hear the community when many say that we can't and we shouldn't grow because of our water situation. But if you're not aware, we're one of the best in the world when it comes to water conservation. So the Southern Nevada Water Authority in this segment gets right to the issue of construction in the valley, also discussing our path to sustainability and conservation.
How does the very visible increase in home construction here in the valley affect our future water supply?
I would say this is one of the most common questions we get asked, Crystal. How can we continue to grow in this valley? I see the new homes going in. How are you making my water supply safe? And why can we continue to do this despite everything we're hearing about Lake Mead? I think the answer is that our conservation code continually evolves to address new development. Starting in 2004, we restricted turf in front and backyards, and our board just recently passed a resolution to not allow any turf in homes. It will only be allowed in schools, parks, and cemeteries going forward. These are the kind of steps that we sort of have to continue to apply to new development and minimize their water footprint up front. The single-family homes going in today use very, very little water and make up a huge part of our economy. The same is true for our businesses as we tackle evaporative cooling, and we have not allowed turf in landscapes for businesses for a very long time. And AB 356 is going to get rid of all the turf that shouldn't be in businesses to begin with. These types of conservation efforts are what allow us to continue to grow. And we've been successful at showing that we can grow while using less water. As we sit here today, if we look back to 2002, we've added over 750,000 people, and we're using 26% less water. And per capita, we're using about half as what we used then. So as long as we continue to make sure that the next generation of development has the smallest water footprint possible, we use rigorous planning in our conservation projections, how much these changes can bring in so that we can ensure that we can meet the needs of everyone in this valley and continue growth.
And it is obviously a challenge, just optically, it's counterintuitive with the levels of the lake going down and then all the new construction we're seeing. As Colby said, that really is the most common question we get, of how can we continue to do this? But there's a couple big drivers, right? Anybody, who lived in Las Vegas through the recession, remembers, the devastating economic impact zero growth had on our community. About 30% of our economy is construction. So to go from zero, tomorrow would really have a devastating impact on our economy. And it really is about how we grow, not whether we grow. With the now prohibition on turf in new single-family construction, the only way they're going to consume water is through, desert-friendly landscaping, in their yards, and the possibility of a pool in the backyard, which will have a very, very small water footprint. But I think it's important for everybody to remember, if you moved here since 2002, you did that because someone else conserved. We've been growing on conservation for the last 20 years. And the only way we're going to continue to be able to keep growing is by even more aggressive conservation measures.
Winter is here, and if you're watering your landscape more than 1 day per week, you're overwatering. Let's talk about why. I'm Johan Feller, Conservation Programs Coordinator with the Southern Nevada Water Authority. Winter is a big opportunity for you to do your part to conserve. Mandatory winter watering restrictions are in effect, meaning dial those irrigation clocks back. Watering is allowed only 1 day a week through the month of February. Check your bill or check out snwa.com to find your assigned watering day. Changing your watering clock with each season helps save the community billions of gallons of water throughout the year. This is especially important as we face additional mandatory federal watering cuts in 2023. And watering more than once a week could result in a fine. Cracking down on water waste is a priority to protect our water supply. More water waste investigators are patrolling neighborhoods across the valley. Last winter, investigations increased 45% compared to the winter of 2020. If you see water waste in your neighborhood, report it to the water utility or on the LVVWD app. In addition, your landscape doesn't need more watering this time of year. The garden staff here at the Springs Preserve says 1 watering cycle a week is enough to sustain your landscape in the dormant winter months. Succulents, like cactus, need much less, needing 1 watering a month, or they could rot. Trees and shrubs that lose their leaves also need very little water before everything comes alive again in the spring. To water in winter with drip irrigation, run 1 cycle of 20 to 40 minutes for high flow emitters, or 1 cycle of 30 to 90 minutes for low flow emitters. When it comes to grass, we recommend the cycle and soak method, 12 minutes max. 3 cycles of 4 minutes each with an hour between each cycle. The hour between allows water to work down to the roots where plants need it most. And if we get rain, make sure to turn off your irrigation that week. If you have grass that's simply pretty to look at and only walked on by your landscapers, we want you to think about replacing it. The Southern Nevada Water Authority offers a rebate of $3 a square foot to convert grass to desert-friendly landscaping. Head to snwa.com to learn more.
Right now, you may have a water malfunction on your property, like a leak, and may not have any idea that you have that. Instead, you get a surprise bill and you're like, hey, what's going on? But thanks to leaps in technology, now the Las Vegas Valley Water District has the ability to find those potential problems almost immediately and let you know about it before it turns into an issue for your property or that surprise bill. There's no better way to describe the pipes in your home or business than out of sight, out of mind. Just about every inch of them are underground or invisible to the eye, so spotting problems like a leak can be challenging.
In a lot of cases, by the time you see a leak, you may have some property damage or a surprise water bill. But there'll be many cases where you can't see the leak and a high bill is the only indicator you're going to have of an issue on your property.
Meet Advanced Metering Infrastructure, or AMI. It's a new technology now in use by the Las Vegas Valley Water District across portions of the valley and will cover the rest of the valley by early 2023. AMI monitors water usage wirelessly.
The greatest advantage of AMI is going to be near real-time meter data. It's going to allow us to reach out and notify the customer of unusual activity on their property. It could be leaks, continuous flow, just any out of the normal activity on their water system.
The system collects water usage information daily through cellular data, which means if there's a large change in your home or business's typical use, you might be contacted by the district to notify you.
Right now, if AMI picks something up unusual on your property, we can let you know via phone call, we can send you a letter, but in the future, we'll have SMS, and then we'll have a customer portal that'll be tailored to your property to let you know when something's not right.
Among the benefits to AMI is that discovering and correcting unusual water use protects our community water supply as we continue to face mandatory federal water restrictions in 2023. It also helps you, the customer, stay ahead of potential issues and keeps meter readers off the streets, reducing our carbon and paper footprint.
It wasn't even 20 years ago when we were reading meters with a book like this, popping your meter lid and writing your read down in this book. But then we transferred over to trucks, so we had a large fleet of trucks driving the streets, reading your meters and getting your data. Now with AMI, we're able to get your near real-time data every day and your read every day, and we've taken a lot of trucks off the street. It's a win-win for everybody.
The only change customers might notice is a new water meter lid. The hardware for AMI has already been installed throughout the Water District service area. In the near future, new software will allow customers to see their daily water usage and set up notification triggers similar to what you see with your energy or internet usage.
The hardware was the heavy lifting. Now that that's up and running, we're looking at new technology and software to truly expand the customer experience. You will be more in control of your water usage and be able to minimize the potential for that surprise bill.
Thankfully, gone now are the days of the books, and AMI is here to protect those pipes you can't see and protect our water supply. Southern Nevada, we hear you in emails and calls and social media posts, oh so many social media posts. Stop the building, stop the golf courses, stop the resorts, we don't have the water. Well, let's break down the current water situation and how it affects us here in Southern Nevada. We'll discuss all those specific water users that you point out to us on social media, but most importantly, you'll understand why our water supply here in Southern Nevada is secure even while levels at Lake Mead decline. Let's go. Let's begin with Lake Mead. Yes, it's located here in Southern Nevada, but the water isn't all ours. It's shared between Nevada, California, Arizona, and Mexico. 100 years of compacts, agreements, and contracts make the law of the river, so no, California is not taking our water. These areas use the water each is entitled to by law. Nevada gets the smallest share at less than 2%, so we're doing more with less, and conservation is critical because the water situation in the West is painful for everyone, and it's most visible at Lake Mead, which is less than 30% full. Here's why. States are legally entitled to their share of water, even when the Colorado River is producing less. The megadrought has reduced flows from the river by trillions of gallons, meaning the West has essentially been overdrawing the river for the last 20 years. Lake Mead has fallen significantly because of it and has resulted in a water shortage. States are working together on a solution, but these negotiations are not easy. With the situation we're facing, let's discuss the users that many in the community perceive as the problem. The Southern Nevada Water Authority has no jurisdiction when it comes to construction, but we do know the facts. All our indoor water is recycled. Any water that goes down a drain in a home or business, whether they're old or new, is treated and used again and doesn't count against our annual water allotment. Guess what does use 60% of our allotment though? Casinos? No. Golf courses? No. It's outdoor watering. Take a look at this. Single-family and multifamily residents use a majority of our water supply for outdoor uses, specifically grass. We've taken action on this. New homes are banned from installing grass anywhere. Golf courses are held to strict water budgets and account for around 5% of our water usage. Also a new action, there's a moratorium on the construction of new golf courses, and water budgets are getting even tighter. And those casinos, they do an excellent job of conserving, accounting for less than 5% of Southern Nevada's total water usage. A majority of resort water use is indoors, and many of the water features, like the Bellagio fountains, use water from a private well, not Lake Mead. Resort's biggest water consumption actually comes from evaporative cooling, a use the Southern Nevada Water Authority is evaluating and working with the business community to change. With this mega drought, you might be concerned about a safe and secure water supply, but Southern Nevada is the most water secure area that relies on water from the Colorado River. This facility, it's one of the big reasons why. We'll tell you about it in the next video.
Hey Southern Nevada, yes, we see what you see, less water at Lake Mead, and you're concerned about our future water supply. Let's explain what the Southern Nevada Water Authority has done to secure water delivery over the long term while Lake Mead is at historically low levels. The The megadrought gripping the West means the Colorado River, our main water source, is producing less drinking water. Our share of the river is only 1.8%, the least of the 7 states and the country of Mexico that all share this resource. The drop that you see in the lake is primarily due to less water being released from Lake Powell, coupled with summer water demands of downstream uses like agriculture. More than 20 years ago, SNWA recognized the possibility for this exact situation and acted quickly to make sure our water system meets the demands of our community. Southern Nevada will not lose access to water here at Lake Mead, even in extreme circumstances, thanks to new, unique infrastructure built specifically for our situation. The third intake is a straw that draws water from Lake Mead at its deepest point 3 miles into the middle of the lake, where water is its coldest and cleanest. The low lake level pumping station is the most powerful facility of its kind to move that water from the third intake to water treatment facilities and ultimately delivered to homes and businesses. If Lake Mead drops to a level we call dead pool, water can no longer flow through Hoover Dam. This would mean residents in Arizona, California, and Mexico would all lose access to the Colorado River. The third intake and low lake level pumping station are Nevada's $1.3 billion insurance policy. This infrastructure allows us to draw, treat, and deliver water from Lake Mead, even in extremely bad conditions. In a dead pool scenario, Nevada would be the only place with access to water at Lake Mead. And in this scenario, the federal government would still likely limit use, and we would still likely face reductions. We are secure, but to remain sustainable, conservation is critical. Southern Nevada has done a terrific job of conserving in the face of the megadrought. We have an 8-year supply of water in reserve, in part because of your efforts, but the job is not done. Learn more about our amazing conservation efforts and what you can do to help in our next video. As we in Southern Nevada navigate the worst drought in the West in 12 centuries, the Southern Nevada Water Authority is asking everyone to conserve.
Yeah, and the community has stepped up in a big way. Here's what you've done so far to keep our water supply sustainable. The first thing you've done is simply use less water. In 2020, Southern Nevada used 24 billion gallons less than in 2002, despite adding more than 750,000 residents. It's astounding. If you moved here since 2002, you did that because someone else conserved.
Grass is a water guzzler. In 1999, the Water Authority introduced the Water Smart Landscapes rebate program, offering a cash incentive to replace grass with desert-friendly landscaping. Since then, over 200 million square feet of turf has been replaced, enough to lay a strip of sod around the earth. That removed grass has saved over 160 billion gallons of water, enough to fill the Luxor Pyramid over 450 times. If you have grass that doesn't get used, like in your front yard or alongside a street, get the rebate while it lasts.
Through these efforts and many others, Southern Nevada has built a savings account of water for times we may need it. We have an 8-year supply of water in reserve. So yes, even during the middle of a federal water shortage declaration and declining water levels at Lake Mead, your conservation efforts help ensure our community has reliable access to drinking water.
There is more conservation work to be done. It's now mandatory for businesses and HOAs to remove useless grass. This alone will save billions of gallons of water each year. And as technologies continue to improve, large evaporative cooling systems are also being upgraded to reduce water consumption. Next to landscape irrigation, they are the Valley's second largest water user.
And finally, yes, you'll continue to hear us remind you to change your watering clocks each season. It makes a massive difference. If everyone in the Valley did this simple action, it would save billions and billions of gallons each year.
Thanks for the work you've done.
And the work we still need to do.
Hi everybody, I'm Doug Bennett and I'm here at the Springs Preserve, home of some of the most beautiful plants in the valley. You know, with us trying to replace the non-functional turf with other types of water-efficient plantings in the valley, a lot of people are wondering, isn't that going to make a hot place even hotter? Well, I'm going to explain to you the fundamentals of urban heat island effect and how we can use the right plants in the right places to ensure that doesn't happen. You know, Las Vegas is already one of the hottest cities in the nation, and part of what makes it hotter is the phenomena of urban heat island effect. Solar radiation falling onto black asphalt streets, sidewalks, the walls of buildings, cinder block walls, all of those high-density, dark-colored materials are absorbing that heat and then re-releasing it into the nighttime air. And while it's not raising our daytime temperatures, it is definitely raising our nighttime temperatures. But this is not a new phenomena. It's not something that has to do with the way we're building our environment now. We find that this has been happening going all the way back into the late 1930s when the weather record first started in the Las Vegas Valley. By choosing vertical plants like trees and vines, we have the ability to shade. A lawn doesn't have the ability to do that. It can't shade other items. And besides that, the cooling effect from a lawn is purely from just pumping water into the atmosphere. Let me tell you just how thirsty grass is. Just 1 square foot requires about 73 gallons of water per year. That's equivalent to 10 feet of rainfall. A lot of people are combining artificial turf with living plants in their landscape, and let me tell you why those living plants ought to include some trees. It's early morning here, and we're already getting temperatures off of this artificial turf of 108, 109 degrees. But if I move into the shaded areas, we're seeing temperatures as low as 77 degrees. So that makes a huge difference. And one myth about artificial turf is that it's contributing to urban heat island effect. It can get hot during the day, but it's not releasing heat at night. If we look at an area that was 108 degrees, and then I create shade, we can watch the temperature go from 109 to 108, 107, 106. It drops really fast. So this material is not going to be releasing heat into the outside air overnight. So go online, either to springspreserve.org or to snwa.com and look at the new regional plant list. We put dozens of well-adapted water-efficient trees on there for you to help us take a bite out of the heat island effect.
As you're using our water, say like taking a shower, you probably aren't thinking, wow, this water quality is excellent. But for the team at the Southern Nevada Water Authority, it's our first and foremost priority to provide clean, high-quality water to all of Southern Nevada. And the team here at the River Mountains Water Treatment Facility has been perfecting that process for the past 20 years.
The River Mountains Water Treatment Facility was originally constructed with the most advanced disinfection capability in mind. And the ozonation process that we installed was state-of-the-art, one of the first of its kind, and ensured that we were prepared to be able to disinfect for cryptosporidium. So that was one of the kind of leading edge aspects of the facility. Also, our filtration system was put in with the latest and greatest technology so that we can ensure that that disinfection part of our process also was optimally run and was in very, very good shape.
The River Mountains Water Treatment Facility was built with growth in mind, at a time Southern Nevada's population was increasing at a rapid pace.
Well, the Las Vegas community was growing very rapidly, and the Alfred Merritt Smith Water Treatment Facility, which was our first facility, was getting to a capacity at which we were concerned about taking it out of service. And so the River Mountains Water Treatment Facility was planned and constructed and actually came into operation in October of 2002.
This plant was designed to be able to expand from 300 million gallons a day, which we're at now, actually a mirror image of the plant on the other side to double the capacity and become a 600 million gallon day facility.
And with its advanced technology and treatment processes, River Mountains earned the highly coveted Partnership for Safe Water Excellence in Water Treatment Award. The award recognizes treatment facilities for their efficiency, maintenance, employee training, and efforts to optimize water quality.
The state and federal government requires a certain level of monitoring, but that's not good enough for us. So, the number of samples that we take, our standards for what we consider acceptable are much higher than is required.
The River Mountains Water Treatment Facility is more than just a maze of large pipes and filtration systems.
It's also a lab where water quality scientists analyze thousands of water samples each year, a vital part of testing and treating your tap water. And researchers explore new technologies and treatments to enhance water quality.
Since this group was created 22 years ago, it's really become the model for a utility-driven research program. We've brought in over $9 million of external research funding. We've published well over 100 peer-reviewed scientific papers. I think pertaining to our plants, we've developed a lot of strategies at the bench scale or pilot scale that have actually been integrated into our full-scale treatment process. It's been quite rewarding.
The past 2 decades show how the River Mountains Water Treatment Facility ensures your water quality. But what does the future look like for the water treatment facility, say, in the next 20 years?
All of those facilities really demonstrate the commitment to innovation and the commitment to advanced technology that we embrace as an organization. In its day, and still today, it is one of the premier facilities that exists within the water utility space.
Welcome to Above and Beyond at the Springs Preserve, where you get to learn all about aerospace technology through rockets, jet planes. These interactives and hands-on experiences will teach you so much in this exhibit that's been traveling since 2016. So let's go take a look at some of the interactive. So this is Spread Your Wings. Here you get to learn about how scientists study birds and other animals and their flight to learn about how to make things like flexible wing technology. So you get to hop over here, use the motion sensor technology, and fly through a canyon. Just don't run into those mountains or trees. One of the first things you'll see in Above and Beyond is Take Flight, where you get to learn about different types of aircraft and how they fly. Whether it's a hot air balloon or a glider or even a rocket, you can just select which one you want to learn about and hit launch.
Most rockets are designed to launch straight up into the air.
In Above and Beyond, not only do you get to use some really great interactives, but you also get to see some really cool artifacts and models. So this jetpack right here was built in the 1960s, weighs 125 pounds, and went up to 60 miles per hour in testing. One of the most exciting parts of Above and Beyond is Full Throttle, where you get to design a jet plane. You pick the fuselage, you pick the tail shape, and you pick the wings here at this kiosk, and then you go and fly your jet. So here I am flying my plane. The better I made it, the more aerodynamic and the faster it'll be. This is a really fun exhibit for adults and kids, active and interactive. Come check it out at the Springs Preserve until January 8th. Thanks, bye.
That'll do it for this edition of Vegas Valley H2O. If you want more content, and who doesn't want more content these days, to learn more about our conservation efforts in Southern Nevada, just go to YouTube and search SNWA Video to learn a lot more about our efforts to sustain our water supply. And just a little nudge, now is the perfect time of year to visit the Springs Preserve, the new Aspire Coffee House and Bronze Cafe. It is open Thursday through Monday. Thanks for watching, and thanks for staying water smart.